Greetings and salutations, viewers. I'm StarPrincessHLC. Welcome to Lads in Distress. It's supposed to be a take on the whole damsel in distress thing, where you're a princess and you're rescuing a bunch of cute guys. So it is a visual novel, and there's probably some silly cliches and such thrown in. So I'm just curious to see what's going to happen. I'm probably not going to do every single option. I'm probably just going to stick with like maybe one guy at the moment and see where it goes. We'll see. So for now, let us begin. I like the art style already, though. I frown in concentration as I carefully tilt the bottle just enough to add a single drop to the pot. There's a loud sizzle, and I watch with a satisfied smile as the liquid in the pot turns a cloudy blue. Perfect! I knew it! I'm a genius! Princess Charming. She looks eerily like the main character from, what was it, God Save the Queen? That really hard RPG visual novel style game with the constant death for killing the princess/queen. She looks just like that girl with the pink ponytails and everything. A knock on the door cuts my celebration short. I scowl in annoyance at the sudden interruption. You may not come in. The door creaks as they completely ignore my order and enter the room. Oh, I guess they're gonna lose their head. You wound me, Charming. At his voice, I turn around with a smile. I'm greeted by the sight of my best friend, his hands clasped over his chest in a dramatic gesture. I mirror his teasing grin and threaten him playfully. You know, I could have your head off for disobeying my command blatantly like that. I drag my fingers across my throat for emphasis and wink cheekily at him. Oh, you could have died. Nicole's eyes widen comically, and he staggers backwards in an exaggerated manner, making me snort at his performance. He abruptly drops the act and flashes me a good-natured grin. You wouldn't! You're too fond of me to have me executed. It's true, Nicole has been my best friend for as long as I can remember. He is a mere 2 months older than me, and we have always been together, even as babies. His father used to be my teacher for magic and potions making, and as a result he was allowed to live in the palace with his family. Since there weren't many kids in the palace, Nicole and I easily became friends, and partners in crime for our many mischievous adventures that always got us into trouble. What potion are you making? Nicole strides forward and peers into the pot. Let me guess, an invisibility potion. It's looking good. Of course I would expect nothing less from a student of mine. I make a face at him when he guffaws at his own words. Ever since Nicole took over as my tutor after his father retired, he'd been making teasing remarks whenever possible about his new elevated status. You sure as know that he has a crush on you? He conveniently leaves out the fact that I can count the number of lessons he's taught me on one hand, because I'm as good as him in magic, despite the fact that he's half fairy and magic is in his blood. What's your excuse? He has blue hair, you have pink hair. Do you have an actual purpose coming here, or did you just come to laugh at me? Oh. Thanks for the reminder. I almost forgot. I'm here with a message from the king and queen. My smile falls, and I turn my back on him, fixing my attention on the potion in front of me. I don't want to talk about my appearance. I reach for the nearest jar of greens and start examining it, pretending to be busy. That can wait. As you can see, I'm in the middle of something important. You know full well how disastrous the consequences can be to mess up even a single step while making potions. But that won't happen because you're Princess Charming. You don't make novice mistakes like that. I can't help but smile with pride, and little glittery lights come from my eyes. Of course. The glint of amusement in Nicole's eyes immediately rouses my suspicion. Why are you looking at me like that? The realization Nicole has tricked me into belying myself slowly dawns on me. I briefly consider making up another excuse to avoid this conversation, but I decide against it in the end. I can't run away from this forever. I might as well just get this over with. Well, you successfully softened me up with some flattery. What does the message say? Nicole holds out a scroll towards me. After a moment of hesitation, I take it from him. What's this? It's a list of all the guests that will be attending the royal ball next week. It still needs your approval. I snort and toss the scroll aside without sparing it a second glance. My approval? My approval doesn't even really matter, does it? Charming, I know this is unpleasant and unfair, but definitely, I'm glad you know it too. But you know that your parents would never have asked this of you if it could have been avoided. We've tried every alternative, even He pauses as though catching himself from saying something he wasn't supposed to. I made a mental note to ask him about this later. The kingdom needs this. We need you. I chew on the inside of my cheek for a moment, struggling internally. Frankly speaking, the idea of getting tied down at such a young age, alright, 18 isn't that young, but still too young for marriage in my book, terrifies me. Well, nowadays 18 is too young. But who knows? There's still so much of the world to be explored. There's so much I have yet to do before being preoccupied with the duties of a wife, and in the future, the duties of a mother. Yet, on the other hand, this is my duty as a princess. I have to save my people. How could I ever refuse to help people in need, especially when they are my people? I know. That is the only reason I'm going through with this. Fine, I'll look at the list. Eventually. Though I doubt my disapproval of some guests being invited would change anything. I'm still getting married off to a random noble I meet at the ball. Does it really matter who we invite? Well, just look at the list whenever you can. Your parents also want me to inform you that you should stay away from the men whose names on the list are circled. My curiosity is reluctantly piqued. You know, the minute you say, avoid these guys, you know that her instinct is going to be like, well, now I gotta defy you and talk to these guys. Who? Why invite them to the ball in the first place, then? Nicole doesn't answer, giving me a playful smile. Inwardly, I curse at how well Nicole knows me and how well he could play me as a result, using my curiosity to his advantage. Alright, you win. I'll do as I was asked, but only on one condition: that you answer any questions I have. Nicole's smile grows wider as he bows deeply. You drive a hard bargain, Your Highness. I accept your terms. You know where to find me when you need me. Oh, now you remember your manners and act like a loyal, subservient subject, after sneakily manipulating me into agreement. Nicole gives a loud laugh and turns to leave the room. Right before he reaches the door, he pauses and mumbles something so quietly that I almost missed it. I'm sorry. With that, Nicole walks away. I don't know, they're kind of got a cute little relationship going. Maybe they can start dating. I don't know. It might be weird considering he's her tutor and such. Plus, he's, not of noble birth, so therefore that makes it null and void. I glare down into the cauldron. If my memory serves me right, truth serums are supposed to be the color of obsidian, not vomit. I gave an angry scowl and kicked the side of the cauldron. Work already, you pathetic thing! I don't understand. Reverse engineering potions may be considered difficult, but I've never had trouble with this. Normally I could create the perfect mixture with my eyes closed. Sighing, I rest a vial of fairy tears off the nearby shelf for another attempt. I tilted above the cauldron to pour in a single drop. I should prepare myself for marriage. But when I look down at my hands, the entire vial is empty. A curse escapes my mouth as I peer down at the cauldron once more, wincing at the disaster. The liquid is exponentially more disgusting, which is progress in its own way. Well, maybe if you weren't so distracted with the whole, oh great, now I gotta find someone to marry thing, then you'd be okay. I'm so grossed out that I start laughing incredulously at myself. Clearly this is not a good day for me. I turn to the bookshelf and quickly scan through the rows of books, looking for Nicole's potion-making journal. Thankfully, I have no trouble finding it. When I reached up to grab it off the shelf, a long sheet of vellum covered with calligraphy slips out from between the pages. I roll my eyes at the sight of the list of guests for the upcoming ball. Of course, how convenient. Conventionally annoying, yes, but still convenient. Well, it's not like I'm dying to learn about potions some more by any means, especially when I'm worrying about forming an alliance, so I suppose I should take a break and make good on my promise to take a quick look at the yes list. I slide the book back into place on the shelf and crouch down to pick up the list. 3 names are circled in red and immediately catch my eyes. Prince Snow of Snow Kingdom, original. Prince Myr of Water Kingdom, slightly more original. And Prince Zell of Forest Kingdom. Okay, they had to slip a Legend of Zelda line in there. Good job. Interesting. If I remember correctly, their city-states are all fairly affluent and are located in nearby advantageous locations. If my parents are willing to disregard the benefits of a union with one of them, they must be pretty damn questionable. My lips climb into a grin. What was I thinking? Curiosity is meant to be sated after all, and Nicole did ask me to look into the guests. Whom should I research first? Well, we started off with, Snow. Let's look at Prince Snow. I turned my attention back to name Prince Snow, Snow Kingdom on the list. I try to remember if I have met him before in previous balls, and I can vaguely recall a lad with silvery hair and startling blue eyes. So, either he's Jack Frost or else, okay. If I'm not mistaken, Snow Kingdom is one of the biggest and richest kingdoms, and also conveniently just to the north of our land. If we could secure political alliance with Snow Kingdom and merge with them, it would save us from poverty. So why do my parents want me to stay away from him? Maybe he likes giving you the cold shoulder. Maybe he's got an icy glare that you can't resist. Maybe he just wants you to build a snowman. I pondered this puzzling question for a moment longer before deciding to go find my parents to ask them. Why sit here guessing at the intent behind my parents' actions when I can just go directly to them and request an explanation? After running around the regrettably enormous palace in search of my parents, I finally find them reading together in one of the many rooms. It looks like they're reading in the throne room, just saying. Also, why is there a cute ghost escaping from my mouth? They look at me with identical indulgent smiles as they wait for me to catch my breath. Charming, what do you wish to speak with us about? King Jack? I uncrumple the guest list in my hand and point to Prince Snow's name on the scroll. Well, Nicole told me you marked the names of the lords that I should stay away from, but I was just wondering why Prince Snow falls under this category. After all, isn't he the Prince of Snow Kingdom? Last I heard, Snow Kingdom is as affluent and influential as ever. They would be a powerful ally to merge our kingdom with. Mother starts shaking her head before I'm even done with my sentence. Charming, you must never consider marrying this man. He's not good enough for you. Father takes my mother's hand into his and speaks up. I agree with your mother. Yes, you are correct. Snow Kingdom could be the solution to all our problems. However, our latest circumstances have made Prince Snow an undesirable choice, which is rather unfortunate. I don't understand. I suppose your diplomatic teachers has not covered this issue yet. I shake my head in confusion. No, sadly no. What is that old fool doing? Gretel, darling, remind me to look for a new teacher for Charming as soon as possible. He turns his attention back to me. Prince Snow, as you should know, is a skirt chaser, to say the least. Which, my child, is the biggest reason why we do not wish for you to have him as your husband. You deserve to marry someone who will respect you and be faithful to you, and Prince Snow is not a good candidate for that. So my dad is Jack, like, I'm guessing Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and then Gretel, like Hansel and Gretel? Weird. Yes, however, the most important issue is that Prince Snow is no longer the crown prince. My eyebrows shoot upwards. What happened? 3 years ago, because of the countless scandals arising from his habits, Prince Snow was thrown out of the palace. His stepmother, Prince Rigel, currently holds the title of Crown Prince and future king. Stepbrother, I said stepmother, didn't I? Whoops. Prince Snow is given until his stepbrother's 18th birthday to find a worthy maiden to settle down with, or else Prince Rigel will become the king when he comes of age instead. I shake my head again, even more confused. Does this not mean that Snow needs us as much as we need him? He needs a wife, I need a husband. Problem solved. My child, politics is not as simple as that. There is no guarantee at all that the current king of Snow Kingdom will make good on his word and let Prince Snow regain his position as crown prince. Especially since the king's wife, the mother of Prince Rigel, has been holding almost all the power in recent years. As the king and queen jointly rule, as long as the king is still resting due to his deteriorating health from old age, the queen is in control. Do you think the queen would rather see her own son ascend the throne, or Prince Snow? The most important issue still, my mother shoots my father a glare before continuing, is that Prince Snow, even though he is a kind and charming man, will never be good enough for you, my child. Oh dear. Yes, of course. Charming, you must listen to us and stay away from him. Put him out of your mind at once. Seeing the anxious look on my parents' face, I decided to humor them by agreeing with them for now. Yes, mother, father. I smile agreeably as I curtsy and take my leave. As soon as the door closes behind me, I let my smile drop and my thoughtful expression show. Interesting. Sounds like Prince Snow needs a hero to help him out, and who is better at the job than I am. He needs a hero. He's holding out for a hero to... Okay, I'm good. I'm going to have to keep an eye on him at the ball next week. Whose background should I look into? Well, I guess we'll look at Mer. I'm guessing that's going to be a reference to the Little Mermaid, because he's Mer of the Water Kingdom. I duly note the name Prince Mer. If my memory serves me right, Prince Mer of Water Kingdom disappeared almost 7 years ago without a trace. When he finally reemerged weeks later, he was voiceless and somber, a pale shadow of the child he used to be. My eyes sparkle in excitement. The only thing that excites me more than curses is the possibility of being the great magician who breaks them. I want to learn about Prince Mer. I need to. I know exactly who to consult. Finding Nicole takes a good half hour and way more dedication than I normally would have bothered to put in. He turns around with a hearty laugh and a teasing glint in his eyes before I can say a word. As noisy as ever, I see. Your footsteps are loud enough to shake the whole castle. It's a miracle the castle hasn't collapsed already after years of your stomping. Observant as ever, I see. Your ears are keen enough to hear the ants crawling around. Even I can tell how pathetic my comeback was. Nicole leans against the wall and gives me a triumphant smirk. Well, I know you didn't thunder over here just to make small talk. What is it? You know me too well. Try guessing what I want from you, too. Is it all about the guest list for the ball? Close, a particular suitor. There's a beat of silence, and the awkwardness is so palpable that I find myself tripping over my next sentence. You offered to give me information on any of the guests I asked about, remember? That was the agreement we made. You can't go back on your promise now. For a brief moment, Nicole's expression twists, but then his easy smile returns, making me wonder if I imagined the whole thing. Which suitor are we talking about? After all, there's so many lists you're going to have to specify. Well, what do you know about Prince Mer of the Water Kingdom? Well, that's a good start. After a brief moment of hesitation, Nicole begins to chortle. You've picked the most interesting suitor to ask me about. I expected no less from you. Interesting, huh? Care to tell me how Prince Mer is so special? Well, it took quite a bit of convincing from yours truly to get your parents to invite any of the circled suitors. Thanks for your efforts, by the way. Definitely added excitement. You're very welcome. Mer was especially challenging to invite, though. Prince Snow is obnoxious, but harmless, and Prince Zell is too busy being locked up to do anything of note. But Mer... Your refusal to call him a prince hasn't been lost on me. Thank the heavens for that. To be fair, I don't know of anything concrete, I've just heard rumors. Obviously, I know numerous other fairies, and fairies love nothing more than magic-related gossip. Mer is quite the dangerous one, from what I've heard. Ooh, dangerous? How so? Because of the curse on him? Actually, Mer probably isn't cursed at all. Wait, what? How do you lose his voice and memories, then? Trauma? Disease? I try not to let the disappointment show on my face, but Nicole's smirk tells me that he sees straight through my pretense. It's not that I don't pity the man, of course, but I was hoping for the source of his muteness to be more magic-related, such as a curse. Not only are curses a lot more interesting, but they also are more easily curable by my hands at that. Not exactly the most popular rumors whisper he sacrificed his own voice and memories, trading them for something more useful to him. Legs and a penis? Wait, he did what? Never mind, this is so much more exciting than the curse idea. Exactly what I just said, well, possibly. Those who are capable of such trades are the strongest of fairies, but only the most wicked would actually go through such bargains. Fairies so malicious would never agree to trade that doesn't completely topple a nation or two. Whatever Mer got in return can't be good. Legs and a penis. And from what I've heard from fairies who visited Water Kingdom and met him, he feels different now, too. Wait, what? What does that mean? He has legs and a penis now. What do you think? I don't know how to explain it. Fairies just have a knack for sensing people's natures by just being around them. Apparently Prince Mer just makes fairies feel, well, nauseous now. Completely different from the way he made us feel before, if the rumors can be trusted. If he's so deadly, why did you make my parents invite him? With danger comes excitement. You should know that better than anyone. That's a point. I am questioning these guys that are circled out. I gave a dubious stare, not buying that simple explanation. Truth be told, Mur was added purely for my sake. I'm a bit eager to see him at the ball. Are we gonna get a twist and find out that our best friend is gay or something? I'll finally get to see the dreaded, feared Mur in person. I'm gonna try as best I can to secretly approach him and try casting a few charms on him. Hopefully I'll get a quick glimpse into the details behind his disappearance. Shaking my head, I can't help but chuckle at Nicole's sudden childish excitement. Well, good luck with that. You know you're really starting to take after me. I hate to admit it, but you may be right. Well, make sure to tell me if you learn anything interesting. Maybe I'll do some research of my own, too, when I come across him at the ball. Nicole freezes at my words. I cock my head at the abrupt change in his demeanor. What's the matter? Charming, you can't. Sorry, I really should have thought this through some more beforehand. We don't know how exactly he's evil, but we know there's something majorly off about him. We also know with confidence that his target is you. I'm fine with you talking to him while surrounded by others, but I don't want you making any form of physical contact with him, and I definitely don't want you to ever be alone with him. I don't want you letting him even suspect that you know something's off about him. We don't know what he'll do to protect himself, especially given that he may be more than willing to hurt you to begin with. I'll try my best. Shouldn't the same be said for you? I'm nowhere near as important as the crown princess of this nation, and Mur gains little to nothing from manipulating or harming me. I'll try my best to be safe too, though. But charming, most importantly, even if you don't listen to anything else I say, listen to this. No matter what, you can't select Mur as your potential husband, and that's final, understand? Of course, I'm not that naive. Nicole sighs in relief. Of course, I trust you, but I just wanted to confirm this to put my mind at ease. Well, we'll see which one I pick at the end of this. Your magic is powerful, but I don't know if any of us are equipped to go against Mur when we know absolutely nothing about him. I nod and we move on to happier topics. After a short while of additional chit-chat, Nicole is summoned by my parents. It's time for me to research some more. Well, the only one left is Prince Zell. My eyes drift off to Prince Zell's name on the list. Prince Zell. If my memory serves me right, he was the crown prince of Forest Kingdom. However, he was kidnapped by an evil witch when he was a child and never returned. Since then, his kingdom has fallen into chaos, and the king and queen were overthrown, resulting in anarchy instead of a monarchy. So then, why is he able to come to this ball if he is currently being held captive? Why would my parents put him on the list? Nobody's heard from Prince Zell in years. Most have assumed he's dead. I trace the strokes of his name on the scroll with my thumb. Poor lad. If anyone needs saving, it's definitely him. I wish there's something I could do for him. A very vague memory suddenly pops into my head. Wait, weren't there some rumors about Prince Zell's location and the failed rescue attempts? Where have I heard this before? I immediately rush off to the best place to find answers, the library. I glance at the title of the book before throwing it aside. No, not this one. Where is it? I sigh in frustration and glare at the ever-growing pile of useless books. I remember the name of the book vaguely. It has to be here somewhere. I try to pull another book from the shelf, but it stays stuck. When I tug on it harder, the whole row of books slide off the shelf and fall to the ground with a loud crash. Cursing under my breath, I gather the books into a pile. Wait! I stare at the name of the book at the top of the pile. 100 Famous Folklores and Poems. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. Flipping through the pages, I scan through the content quickly until I find the poem about Prince Zell. I let out a triumphant cheer. Found it! Ha! My memory is perfect. I'm such a genius that I amaze myself sometimes. Settling into a comfortable position on the floor and leaning against a pile of books, I read the poem carefully. Okay. Deep in the pockets of a valley of trees, named after Elwood, the famous knight, there lies gnarled branches in a twisted dance, blades of grass of frightened height, all compelled to do the witch's bidding, to shield a treasure from men's sight. Countless decorations of success and rescue falter and fail at the dragon's roar. Charred ashes litter the pale grass, results of the ruler's reckless war. Thousands leave, none return, none except one soldier washed ashore. He speaks of blind terror that led to betrayal, of flames that paint the skies a fiery red, of choking on screams and shouts and cries, of the streams of blood that chased him as he fled. He shakes at the recollection of the fabled treasure, of strands of gold upon a bowed head in the window. Prince L, timid and weak, lost since the tender age of 8, with a heart as golden as his curtain of hair, in his tower he patiently waits, as he slowly fades into a mere memory, a legend of a prince with a cruel fate. I see. I quickly memorize the poem in case I ever need the information again. I climb onto my feet, walking back to the shelf where the book used to be. Before I close the book and return it to the shelf, I can't resist brushing my fingers against the illustration of Prince Zell on the page. Maybe one day, so it's kind of a mixture of Legend of Zelda, or at least his name is, and Rapunzel. Although again, this doesn't entirely make sense. I let my voice trail off, then snapped the book shut. Well, my research here is done. I think I've learned all I need to know about the 3 princes. It's getting pretty late. Maybe I should just call it a day and get some rest. I sigh fully on and start walking back to my room for some beauty sleep. Okay. Oh my god, I love that dress. And again, now she really does look like, what was her name from God Save the Queen? Eloise or something like that? Very similar. Anyway, I try to refrain from fidgeting with my gown as I stare at the steady stream of people entering the ballroom. I can't help but notice the majority of the guests are male, dressed in flashy clothes of the latest fashion to show off their wealth. Next to me, my father clears his throat loudly and lifts his glass of wine up, facing the crowd of guests. A hush falls over the room. Welcome to Lunar Kingdom. Okay, now I'm starting to wonder if I'm related to Sailor Moon, because she actually does kind of look like an adult version of Minnie Moon. Just saying. We are very honored that all of you have traveled such a long way to join us here today for this ball held in celebration of my daughter's coming of age. We hope you will enjoy yourselves tonight. Let the ball begin. At this cue, the orchestra starts playing. Chatter resumes among the guests as they mingle among themselves. Oh, hello! A man approaches me the instant the music begins. I'm guessing this is Prince Snow. Your Highness. He bows, and I drop a curtsy in return. As he straightens up, I take the opportunity to study him. I notice with a start that he's extremely handsome, even compared to all the good-looking princes and dukes here. Well, at least the ball will be off to a good start. His lips curve upwards into a smile as he catches my eyes wandering over his frame. I just give an innocent half-smile in return, unfazed. He seems amused at my response, his smile growing wider as he half bends over his outstretched hand. May I be so bold as to request the first dance, Prince Charming? My eyes fall onto his silver-white hair that contrasts almost poetically with his stunning blue eyes, and recognition dawns on me. This smooth attitude, the attractive features, he must be Prince Snow. In the back of my mind, I recall my parents warning me to avoid associating with him, but I push the little voice away. Go away, little voice, go away. There is a cute silver-haired man in my presence. Just as I expected, he is as desperate for marriage as I am for an alliance, as shown from his eagerness to ask me to dance. I should take this opportunity to get to know him better. It would be my honor to dance with you. I take his hand, and he wastes no time before sweeping me into an elegant waltz. I can just barely make out the figures of my parents and Nicole among the crowd. They seem to be staring in my direction, and I can practically feel their disapproving glares burning holes into my body. I'm such a bad girl. I pretend not to notice as I let us melt into the crowd of dancing couples. Turning my attention to the man I'm dancing with, I put on my best smile. I don't believe we have been introduced. I let my voice trail off. Oh, how rude of me. I am Prince Snow from Snow Kingdom. Please forgive my atrocious manners. I was merely too stunned by your beauty to recall the countless lessons I've had in etiquette. He's a womanizer, all right. He's way too charming. My lips twitch in amusement. It seems like the rumors are correct. Prince Snow simply exudes charisma and flirtatiousness. With that appearance along with his charm, Prince Snow is the epitome of a dangerously handsome rogue. I now understand why so many women fell victim to his flirtations despite knowing his skirt-chasing ways. You must not have had a very good teacher. I am simply appalled at the standard of teaching in Snow Kingdom. Any half-competent teacher must have prepared their students in advance for such difficult situations as this. Though I must admit, it is unusual to meet a prince who is still apparently highly affected by a woman's looks when he's surrounded by beautiful ladies every day. Prince Snow flashes me a coquettish grin. But none of the ladies I encounter are half as gorgeous as you. Their beauty simply cannot measure up to yours. You are certainly as charming as they say. He gives a quick chuckle, but I can detect a slight note of anxiety in his next words. I see my reputation has preceded me. I sincerely hope it does not poison my image in your mind. I would hate to miss out on an angel because of my past sins. I can't resist shaking my head in amusement at his outrageous comments. I assure you, I am no angel. I beg to differ. Tell me, did it hurt? Pardon? When you fell from heaven? Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Heard it! I stare at him with a straight face for a moment, holding back my giggles, but I eventually lose the battle. There is no way any lady has ever taken that kind of flattery seriously before. Believe me, that comment came from my heart. It was not meant to be flattery, but a genuine compliment. I wouldn't be surprised if his heart is as cold as ice. You know, a frozen heart that is only broken by true love. He winks at me, a glint of humor in his eyes, still laughing. I decide to play along. In that case, I must thank you. Nothing to thank me for, my dear princess. Has anyone ever told you that you have the most melodic laugh? It's simply music to my ears. You seem surprised. If your suitors do not remind you every day how beautiful and fascinating you are in every way, they're obviously not doing a good job. Well, I will pass on this generous advice to my non-existent suitors. I have no competition yet. Wonderful. That means I still have a chance to win your heart. I warn you, that may not be an easy task. So, chill out, buddy, and just wait until I talk to the other two boys. I'm always up for a challenge. Prince Snow continues to flirt with me, making me throw my head back in laughter while leading the dance. Surprisingly, I find myself not having to fake interest and force myself to pay attention to him. Instead, I'm genuinely enjoying our conversation and warming up to him. Ha! I see what you did there. In fact, I don't even realize the song had come to an end until he releases me. I don't know. I gave him a warm smile, curtsying. He bows in return, taking my hand in his and pressing a kiss to my hand. Thank you for the dance, princess. I enjoyed myself greatly. Hopefully, you don't have any problems later on. You are as delightful and charming as your name suggests. Who's the charming one here, me or you? The pleasure was all mine. You are a great dance partner. My dance teacher would be ecstatic to hear that. Is your dance teacher better than your etiquette's teacher? Well, you should be the judge of that. I do believe he or she is. Give your teacher a raise in wages. He let out an amused laugh. The next song starts, this time a more upbeat, jovial tune, and couples resume dancing around us with their new dance partners. I suppose I should not keep you any further. I'm beginning to fear that one of the men from the long line of waiting suitors vying for your attention may grow impatient and stab me with a sword. Oh dear. I would protect you if it comes to that. Prince Snow laughs again, pressing another quick kiss to the back of my hand. Okay, now you're just pushing it. Go away. You are simply wonderful. Such a great conversationalist. I cannot remember the last time I've enjoyed simply talking to someone this much. I can see why people believe you would be a great queen when it is your time to take the throne. Thank you once again for the dance. I shall forever treasure this memory. Oh, you're not gonna let it go. Let it go. Until next time, my dear princess. He backs away slowly, his eyes fixated on mine. Oh, hello. We got a redhead in our midst. Unsurprisingly, several men walk my way the instant Prince Snow leaves. In the center of this ball, after all, most of the nobles have only come for a chance at wedding me for my magical powers and the kingdom's prestige. The first man to get me bows silently and reaches out his hand. I take it, and a few of the other bachelors sigh in disappointment. I'm guessing this is Myrrh because he's got the red head, like Ariel. And also his, one little button on his coat there is in the shape of a shell. The orchestra begins to play the next piece, and I look up at him with a grin. Let's dance, shall we? We swirl into each other's arms, our faces getting dangerously close for the briefest of seconds. A minute passes, and then another, with us simply dancing in silence. I would suspect this mysteriously quiet prince has no interest in me, if not for the fact that he approached me instantly. His eyes have stayed devotedly on my face the entire time. Maybe he's just shy and finds it difficult to start conversations. Deciding to help him out, I open my mouth to speak. I don't believe we met. Could I have your name? Rather than responding, he uses his available hand to brush his lips before shaking his head. Can you not speak? He shakes his head, and I look him over once more. As far as I know, the only male monarch or noble around my age who is unable to speak is, Are you Prince Myrrh? He nods. The silence unnerves me a little, but it isn't bad by any means, just different. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot Nicole in the crowd, watching us intensely, and I'm reminded of what he had told me about Myrrh beforehand. Prince Myrrh looks and feels mundane, but then again, I'm only human, even if I'm great with magic. Or perhaps rumors are just rumors after all, even if they come from fairies. Either way, how interesting that the first two people to win my attention in time are both men I should not marry. I steal one more glance at my parents and Nicole, then giggle at their faces. I'm such a bad girl. Well, I'm so lucky to be face to face with Prince Myrrh right now. It's the perfect opportunity to interrogate him. I feel that it's going to be one-sided, though. But how do I interrogate a mute man? Prince Myrrh, how do you feel about black magic? I lower my voice. I hope you don't hate it. I practice it often. Please know if you agree with my little hobby. I want a suitor who will accept me for who I am, after all. Prince Myrrh blanches and shakes his head. I chuckle at the expression on his face. Don't worry, I'm kidding. I've never even learned dark magic. I've always wanted to learn about curses, though. I carefully scrutinize his face, hoping it will betray fear or guilt. However, Prince Myrrh only continues to look confused. He's a very good actor. He has practiced his mime well. I sigh and decide I should backtrack to avoid suspicion my so-called interrogation is floundering. I may have been hoping for a bigger reaction from you. Teasing others is my greatest hobby, although today is clearly not my day. Prince Myrrh chuckles at my words. He can chuckle, but he can't talk. While I consider my options, he gently dips me down into his right arm, startling me out of my thoughts. Damn. I guess trading your voice for some legs and a penis worked out well for him. The lack of conversation forces me to focus on our movements, on his proximity. When I twirl out of his embrace a moment later, I'm almost disappointed. We dance around the ballroom with vivacity, practically claiming the floor for ourselves. The second that we are far from each other as our outstretched but intertwined hands allow. The next second, we are far closer to each other than conventions would expect. Keep it in a certain line, people. I'm getting out the measuring stick. Okay, you're way too close. I know nothing about your personality or beliefs, but I dare say we make a great dancing team. Again, selling your voice for legs and a penis really worked out well. Does that mean you are amazing in the bedroom as well? I don't know. The prince raises his eyebrows, but his lips inch up into a grin. Don't get cocky now, dances don't have any political use. His shrug blends so seamlessly into our movements that I almost can't tell whether it was intentional. I roll out of his grasp one last time as the music draws to its end. Finally, we release each other's hands. I had a really good time. The prince nods. I'd love to keep dancing with you, but I doubt anyone around us would approve. I curtsy as a farewell and prepare myself for the horde of suitors that is bound to approach me soon, but Prince Myrrh seizes my hand before I can utter another word. What is it? He opens his mouth to speak, then shakes his head, remembering his inability. With a sigh, he lifts my hand, palm up, and uses his index finger to write in it. Thank you. I look back at him, my smile wide. So I'm guessing they don't have sign language in this world. No, thank you. The prince seals his words with a kiss into my palm before he walks away, letting the crowd consume him. Okay. Now the question. Do we see the other fellow? Do we see Zell? because he might still be locked away in the tower for all we know. The rest of the night passes by in a blur. I think I've danced with every single man there, as every time a song comes to an end, I would get whisked away by another waiting dance partner. My feet are positively aching by the end. I hope you didn't wear high heels, sweetie, because then you're gonna really be hurting. As I watch the guests slowly filter out of the room, laughing with rosy cheeks from the wine, I wish nothing more than to crawl back into my warm sheets and fall asleep. Father, Mother, may I excuse myself? I'm exhausted and I wish to get some rest. Of course. Relieved, I give a quick curtsy, but before I can leave, Father touches my arm and says in a low voice, "Don't forget, you still have to make your choice tonight. Your mother and I will be waiting for your response tomorrow morning." I give a heavy sigh. "Yes, Father, I know. Good night." Alright, well, next morning I find myself standing in front of my parents nervously, fidgeting under my dress. "Who have you chosen as your husband, my child?" Ooh, that's a loaded question, but I think we'll leave it off on there at the moment, because technically we still have yet to actually meet Cell, and this was a long-ass episode getting introduced to at least 2 of the 3 boys. So, I think I'm going to continue on with this whole thing as a separate Let's Play. This is kind of entertaining and interesting. I'm curious to see where all this is going to go. This is longer than I expected it would be. So, this is so far very charming and very adorable. And I'm curious to see where it's going to go. So I guess there's a few different endings, obviously, depending on the guys you choose. So, let's see what happens next time. But for now, this is StarPrincessHLC saying, thank you very much for watching, and have a fond farewell.